Hello, I'm Ollie and this is Criminally, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today, my TBR for October. So October is, of course, the month of Occult Detective October, the fantastic reading event created by MJ from the channel Reading This Life. So Occult Detectives are basically detectives who investigate unnatural, supernatural goings on. So it could be ghosts, could be spooky stuff, could be occult stuff, could be aliens, could be any one of a number of different things, but a really fun subgenre and one that I very much enjoy reading. So really looking forward to reading some Occult Detective books for that this month. I'll leave a link in the description to this video to my announcement video, and also links to the channels of all of the co-hosts, of which there are many, and many of them know far more about occult detective fiction than I do, so do check out their videos. I'm also probably taking part in a couple of other reading events this month. So those are Halloween-a-thon, created by Kelsey from the channel Slime and Slashers, and TBR Harvest, created by Leandra from the channel Leandra the TBR Zero. And I will be probably hosting sprints later on this month for TBR Harvest as well. I haven't got any particular books picked out for those. I'm trying to keep my TBR relatively small this month, so I'm focusing on Occult Detective October. But I'm sure I will be reading at least some books that work for both Halloween-a-thon and TBR Harvest. So again, I'll leave links in the description to the video to the channels or the announcement videos from both Kelsey and Leandra talking about those events. They are what I would term like young people's reading events, in that there's absolutely tons going on. There's loads of different things you can do. There's like bingo boards, there's like game boards, there's absolutely tons of stuff for both. Both Kelsey and Leandra put a huge amount of effort into their events, so definitely worth checking out. But yeah, I need to rein things in a bit this month, so I will be taking part in a small way in both of them, but probably not going the whole hog on them. So let me talk, before I get into Occult Detective October then, let me talk about a couple of other things I'm going to be reading this month. So the first one is The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker. So this is the pick for the Criminally Book Club this month, so the book club that I run with my patrons and channel members. So I've read this, but not for a very long time. This, of course, is the novella that inspired the movie Hellraiser. I may take the opportunity to re-watch Hellraiser, because I haven't watched that for ages either. An absolutely fantastic movie, and from what I remember, the novella is very good as well. So looking forward to reading that. If you'd like to join us and read along with us, you can sign up for a free week's trial of my Patreon. There's a link in the description to the video for how you can do that. So that's one thing I'll be reading this month. The other thing that is not part of, well, there's two other things actually that aren't part of Occult Detective October. So the first one is Small G, A Summer Idyll by Patricia Highsmith. So Patricia Highsmith's final novel. As you will probably remember, I've been doing a read-through of all of Patricia Highsmith's books with Anne from the channel Anne Novella over the last couple of years. We started it at the beginning of last year. It's been fantastic. I've really enjoyed it. So feeling a bit funny about like nearly getting to the end now. I've read a Patricia Highsmith book pretty much every month for almost 2 years. So to not be reading a book by her in the future feels a bit strange. But yeah, looking forward to reading this one. I think it's probably slightly different, a slightly more reflective, non-thrillery type of book. But yeah, looking forward to reading that. And I think we're probably going to read some short stories after that during the rest of this year. The final thing then that I'm reading that's not for Occult Detective October is Shogun by James Clavell. So this is for my novel Life Challenge. I started in 1973. What did I read for 1973? I read a Donald Goines book for 1973. For 1974, I read Jack Carter's Law by Ted Lewis. For 1975, I'm reading Shogun. So my novel Life Challenge is where you read a book from every year you've been alive. I'll try and remember to leave a link to my announcement video for that in the description to this video as well. So Shogun is a book I've tried to read many times. I've tried to read it, I think, at least 2 or 3 times. I've tried to listen to the audiobook, and I've always just been defeated by its hugeness. I've always got, I think, about kind of 100 pages in, and then just looked at the fact there's another 1,300 pages left to go, and been defeated. But so many people have said it's worth the effort. So I'm going to give it another try. I think this will be my final try with Shogun. If I don't manage to crack it this time, then I'm going to throw in the towel and I'll pick something else from 1975 to read. But yeah, I am looking forward to it, and we'll probably try and watch both of the TV miniseries if I manage to finish the book. Right, so that's the non-Occult Detective October stuff out of the way then. So let's talk about Occult Detective October. So there's 4 themed weeks. The first week is classic, so pre-1960. So for that, I'm going to read The Adventures of Jules de Grandin by Seabury Quinn. So in my announcement video, I talked about like one short story from the Jules de Grandin series that I'd found on archive.org. I've managed to get hold of a digital copy of it's like an ace science fiction anthology of Jules de Grandin stories from, I think, the 70s. So yeah, The Adventures of Jules de Grandin. It's got, I think, 7 or 8 stories in it. So looking forward to reading this. Many of my co-hosts for Occult Detective October have recommended these Jules de Grandin stories before. I think a lot of them were originally published in Weird Tales. Seabury Quinn certainly, wrote a lot of stuff for the Pulp magazine. So the kind of stuff I really enjoy. So yeah, looking forward to trying that as one of the, kind of OG Occult Detective kind of characters. For modern then, so that's what I'm going to be reading for Classic Week. Second week is Modern Week, so post 1960. So for that, I'm going to be reading the Occult Detective magazine Mythos Special number 2. So Occult Detective magazine is just fantastic. I really enjoy it. They have articles about occult detective fiction as well as new original occult detective stories. So this one has got a bunch of stories in and a couple of articles. One article as well. So yeah, very much looking forward to that. I'll leave a link in the description to the video to their website. It's definitely worth checking out if you like this kind of thing, or if you just fancy picking something up for Occult Detective October. I do always like to support this kind of independently published stuff on the channel. I think there's a wealth of great stuff out there, and it's up to people like me to get the word out. So do check out Occult Detective magazine. So that's my pick for Modern Week, and then for the third week, which is to read something with either by a diverse author or including diverse characters, I'm going to read this: Associate Professor Akira Takatsuki's Conjecture Folklore Studies. So this is a light novel. I'm really into the idea of light novels and need to read more of them. So these are kind of relatively unchallenging, shall we say, books, like prose books published in Japan and Korea, which are often based on like manga or anime series, and that's true of this one. So kind of YA type stuff, but I read one of the manga volumes for this character and really enjoyed it a while ago. So he's like a professor who investigates like local folklore and things like that. So definitely in the occult detective kind of sphere. I've got another one of these as well, so if I enjoy this one I may read that one too. So yeah, looking forward to trying that. And then the final week is Anything Goes week. So I've got 4 other things I'm going to talk to you about, which I may fit into the other weeks. I don't think any of them will work for the first week, but some of them would probably work. Well, they'd all work for the modern week. Some of them might work for the diverse week. So 4 other things. So let's talk about those. So one is this Charmed book that I picked up a while ago. I figure Charmed just about counts as Occult Detectives. I don't know if you remember the TV series Charmed, but I used to really, really enjoy it. So this is a book with two Charmed novels in it. So the first one is the Power of Three. Now, the authors are not named on the cover of this book at all, but after each volume there is an About the Author section. So let me just check what the author's name was. I think it was Eliza Willard. Yeah, Eliza Willard. So yeah, The Power of Three by Eliza Willard, which has the Charmed sisters going up against, I don't know, something or other, as they did in every episode of Charmed. I've also got Gravesight by Charlaine Harris. So this is the first in a series of books about a kind of woman who's a psychic, Harper Connolly. I think there's a TV show based on this as well, actually. But I can't remember what it's called. So yeah, if you know that, let me know in the comments. But yeah, these are supposed to be really fun. I've got a couple of other ones in the series as well that I picked up recently. So yeah, that feels like a decent occult detective style read. I then also got this, which I think is a short story collection. I'm going to double check that. Yes, a short story collection, The Bone Key by Sarah Monette. The Necromantic Mysteries of Carl Murchison Booth. So that definitely sounds occult detective-y. Fantastic cover as well. So this was very kindly sent to me by one of my viewers, Hyde, a little while ago. She heavily recommended it. So yeah, it looks like a fun read, and nice to have some short stories to read alongside the novels. And then finally, I've got a new book that's just come out. I think it came out in September. When I heard about this book, I loved the concept of it so much that I had to get hold of a copy. I contacted Titan Books, who sometimes send me stuff, and said, "You didn't let me know about this one, but it sounds really fun. Can you send me a copy?" And they said, "Yeah, happily." So it is Jekyll and Hyde Consulting Detectives by Tim Major. So what a great concept. So the concept is that Jekyll and Hyde are like a mismatched like buddy cop duo, which I just think is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm really looking forward to this. I don't need to know anything about this book apart from that concept. It's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, very much looking forward to this, and it's got some really good blurbs from people on the back as well, suggesting it's as much fun as it sounds. So yeah, very much looking forward to that. So that is what I'm going to be reading this month. That's what I'm going to be reading for Occult Detective October in particular. Do let me know in the comments if you're going to be taking part and what you're going to be reading. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Hope you're safe and well out there. Hope you're reading good stuff, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheerio. Hello, I'm Ollie, and this is Criminolly, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today, my TBR for October.